Business should look like the biggest building you've ever seen in your life, okay? And that represents huge income. But you cannot see the building and you cannot see the income until you do the foundation. And to put up a big building, you've got to have a deep foundation. Now, this is the reason why doing sales, you can never, ever make it big in network marketing. It's impossible. And, it's just amazing how people are out there trying to recruit people to sell and it doesn't work. Give you an example. A non-sales type will recruit a salesperson thinking they're going to get rich because that person can bring in a lot of people, which is true. In 6 months to a year, they can recruit, note the word recruit, 50 to 100 people. But you look at their genealogy after a year, they haven't duplicated themselves one time. Okay, maybe they're one level deep in a few places, but zero duplication. So what happens is when people aren't duplicating, they will get to the point, and all the companies in the industry are getting to this point too, or they get so large, the business gets so big that people are dropping off faster than they can add them. That's why you see people in 2, 3, 4, 5 different programs, because every year goes by, since they haven't duplicated, they're ready to move on. So this salesperson, he's losing people faster than he can add them. So he thinks there's something wrong with the company, the products, the marketing plan, their sponsor, but someone shows them another hot deal, okay? So now they're off to the races on the new hot deal. Guess what happens in a year? Same thing. Now they're ready for the next hot deal. You'll run into people who've been in 2, 3, 4, 5 different programs and more, okay? And you probably heard the definition of insanity before, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, okay? I want to tell you a true story. This guy by the name of Jimmy the Butcher Smith was a butcher for 40 some years, had to retire because of a back injury. Now, note what I'm going to say here. He got into network marketing, but he didn't do network marketing. He got into network marketing and he did sales. He said he loved network marketing, but he never did it. In 10 years, he was in 10 different programs, never made any money at all. He came across my training material and he learned that we do not recruit people to sell. We sponsor and teach people to duplicate. Well, by the time the guy was 70 years old, he was worth $35 million. He's 92 now and he's worth 90 million. And we have the recording of an interview that was done with Eric Worre. For twice in the interview, he gives me 100% credit for his success. Now, another quick testimony is a guy named Jordan Adler. 11 years, he couldn't sponsor anybody because he was always trying to recruit people to sell. He actually came across my book in a garage sale. He bought it for 25 cents. He's now a multi-millionaire. Now, when I started off, I said that I started by sponsoring 4 people. And in 25 years, it grew to 1,400,000 people. What I didn't tell you is that the company that I have, it's a health company, and most of you are in health companies, and we have a lot of great products, but in 25 years, by accident, I've actually sold 1 product, okay? That's it, okay? Now, some people were over at the house, they saw it on the counter in the kitchen, and they asked what it was. I told them they wanted to buy it, okay? Now, think about this. 25 years, I've sold 1 product, but last month, my volume was over 13 million, okay? Now, that's because I never recruited anybody to sell. I sponsored and taught people how to duplicate. And that's what this business is all about. Is you got the 2 most important words are understand and duplication. 100% of the people in the world not in network marketing do not understand it. 80 to 90% of the people who are in it don't understand it. And you'd be amazed how many company owners don't understand it. Now, I want to talk about your market. And now what that means is how many people, if you think you're recruiting people to sell your products, how many people you think you can talk to, okay? Well, first of all, only 15% of the people in the world at any given point in time are either sick, hurt, or into health. Now that breaks down to 8% that are really into health. Now, anyone that would argue that, I say measure the square footage of all your health food stores in town, and then all your supermarkets, you won't have 8%. So you got a very, very small market. Now you have a lot of competition, okay? Because they already told you that 80 to 90% of people in network marketing don't understand it, and they think they're out trying to recruit people to sell. And that doesn't work, okay? A lot of these, there's about 20,000 companies now, and all these companies starting up, they all make the same mistake when they get started. And that mistake is will be the cause of their failure. They recruit a sales manager. Now think about it. Why would you recruit a sales manager when you're not in sales? You're in network marketing, okay? Well, that sales manager has never sponsored a person a day in his life, never built a business network marketing. So why did they recruit a sales manager? Two reasons. First one is they do not understand network marketing. And the second one is they are recruiting that person to recruit people to sell. And that does not work. Okay, so you got a small market. Okay, you got a lot of competition. Now here comes the worst part. 95% of the people want nothing to do with selling. In America, a few months ago, it was on the news. Only 4.7% of the population in America want anything to do with selling. Okay, so I'll give you something to think about. 90% of the people in network marketing are looking for the 5% of the people who can't make it. Okay, so that's where you guys are at. It doesn't work. So let me talk about activity. Okay, I did a Zoom training, a couple months ago. This woman had 45 people on her call. After the call, I said, well, how many people do you have in your downline? And she said 500. I said, well, that's great, but how many of those people are actively building a business? Boy, it went quiet for about 10, 15 seconds, and she said 10. That is typical in the industry. The industry average is about 5%. And that's why all these people are bailing out, going from one company to the next, because they're not duplicating, okay? If you're duplicating and you're growing your business, you're not going to go anywhere. And these people would stick around. So anyway, there are two elements to building a business, okay? You got your product, your vehicle, which is your company, product, and marketing plans, one element. You can have the hottest vehicle in the world, but you're not going to go anywhere until you learn how to drive the vehicle. So when people read my book, they understand network marketing. That's why the book's sold 11 million copies. They understand network marketing, and now we coin the phrase, they know how to drive. I want to give you a simple analogy, easy to remember, okay? If you own a brand new Lamborghini or Ferrari, these are hot vehicles, okay? Would you let your best friend go for a drive around the block in it if they did not know how to drive? Well, my wife and I, we did training seminars in over 35 countries. I've asked hundreds of thousands of people that question. I've never got anybody said that they would do that. It's absolutely no way would I do that. But now listen to what people are doing in our industry. They recruit someone to sell their products, and they'll spend days, weeks, and months before they can get to the point where they can do an in-home presentation, learn how to sell all the more products you have, the longer it takes them, okay? They don't spend 1 minute teaching them how to drive the vehicle. So what I'm going to teach you here in just a few minutes, just one more analogy. It's like you can hand the keys to the vehicle, to the person today, and they can actually start sponsoring people today. They're going down the freeway, sponsoring and teaching and building their business. Now, while they're doing that, they can learn all about the vehicle, the company, products, and marketing plans. The people who think they're trying to recruit people to sell, they have to take the whole engine apart, put it back together again before they can even talk to anybody, okay? The 35 countries that we did training in, I always started by asking the people, well, when you sponsor a new person, how much teaching training does it take you before they can sponsor somebody? Can you do it in 1 or 2 hours? No. How about 2 or 3 days? No. Then I say, well, how many of you have people who have been with you for, say, 2, 3, 4 years and they still haven't sponsored anybody? Over half the people in the room would raise their hand. So I'd say, well, do you want to know why they haven't sponsored anybody? The answer is simple when you hear it, because nobody taught them something that they can do. See, it's one thing if you can do it, but if you don't have something you can teach your people to do, you're not going to go anywhere. Now, we got a little secret to the system I'm going to teach here, and that is we teach our people not to talk. See, the more you talk, the more people think they can't do what you're doing. And the more you talk, they don't think they have time to do it. So we teach them not to talk, okay? Now, what I'm going to teach you here in just a few minutes, because of our app, our system, and technology, you're going to be able to do in 3 to 5 years what took me 25 years to do. That's how much difference it is. And the market you have now, we have a market of 100%, okay? Remember the other market, small market, a lot of competition, nobody likes to sell. Our market's 100% because we're not looking for salespeople, okay? We're looking for people that want something. That's 95% of the population wants something they don't have. The 5% on top, they already have it all. They want to live forever. So we say they can make great customers. Okay, so that's where that. Okay, I want to show you how this works. Real simple. We have a hat, says own your life, and a pin. Now you can get these hats made anywhere. Okay, let's say that you don't have the hat, you don't have the pin. I'm going to tell you exactly what you'd say. You're in a conversation with a friend or someone you meet. Now, the person you meet, do not start the process until you made a connection with them. Find out what they want. Let them find out about you. Get a conversation going, make a connection. But let's go with, just because your market is so huge with the way we're doing this, you're talking to a friend. During the course of the conversation, all you do is ask your friend, have you ever thought about what it would be like if you could own your life? Now they'll look at you a little strange. They don't know where you're going with this. And you simply tell them that stands for having time, money, and your health. And you realize most people don't even know one person that has all three. Young people, millennials, if they're making 60 to 100,000 a year, they have a little money, but they don't have any time because their job, their commute, things they have to do. Their health's okay. Older people, they have a lot of time, but they're running out of money and their health's going bad. So it's a simple question. How would you like to be able to own your life, have time, money, and health at a time in your life when you could enjoy it with your friends and your family? Well, see, there's only two possible answers. The one would be, gee, Don, I just want to keep my stupid, dead-end, boring job and work for 35 years and end up broke. Or they could say, gee, that sounds interesting. Can you tell me more? Now, I just did the first step of a 3-step system. Now, for what it's worth, that takes 1 minute. Okay? How long do you think it's going to take you to learn or teach someone a 1-minute presentation? We have this thing recorded. We do these trainings all the time. Listen to it a few times. You got it. Most people get it the first time they hear it. Because if you can learn this presentation, the 1 minute, you can build a business, and anybody can do that. And that has nothing to do with selling. Anybody can do it. Because see, from now on, the tools are going to take over and do all the talking. Not some of the talking, all the talking. So what you do is you tell the person, They want more information. Say, look, if you really want to own your life, you need to understand network marketing. So then when you understand it, you'll know how to drive the vehicle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you the first 5 chapters of the best-selling book in the world, sold 11 million copies. So when you read this or listen to it, I'll send you print or audio, then you're going to understand network marketing and you'll know how to drive. So all you have to do is ask them, do you want me to send it to you by print or by audio or both? Now, why is print important? People are getting to the point where they're saying they don't have time to read, okay? Well, you can go to any town in the world and look at the commuter traffic. 90% of the vehicles have one person in them, and that person hates their commute, probably hates their job, going to be there for 35, 40 years and end up broke anyway, okay? They can change their whole life by reading the first 5 chapters or listening to the first 5 chapters while they're on their commute, while you're fixing dinner, while you're jogging, while you're exercising, while you're walking your dog. All kinds of ways you can change your life by listening to the first 5 chapters of the book. Okay, now, I want to talk about what we call cooling off. See, before we had technology, people would buy my book, and then, basically you got to look at what the cost is here. They pay for the book, and then they would have to drive to the post office to mail it to somebody. Okay, I don't know what your gas prices are, but in California now, we're already starting to hit $7 and $8 a gallon. So add that to the cost of the book. And what about the time it took you to go to the post office and come home, and then you mail it, and they have to wait 5 days to get it. So in 5 days, you call them and say, hey, did you get the book? And they say they did. Okay, have you read it yet? They say they did. You'll be surprised how many people will lie to you. They didn't read the book, okay? Because it's called cooling off. From the time you talk to them, by the time they got it, they have cooled off. See, now there's no more cooling off, because with our app, and I'll get to that in step 3, you can actually send the first 5 chapters to them right while you're talking to them. So when you hang up the phone, they have it right then, right there, and now, okay? Now you're gonna really like this. When they start to read it, you're gonna get a ping on your phone saying they started to read it. And if they hang up before they finish the 5 chapters, you get another ping saying they partially read it. And when they're finished reading, you get another ping saying they finished reading it, okay? So how cool is that? 20 minutes after they get through reading the first 5 chapters, they get a call from you, and you don't have to wonder if they read it, because you already know they read it, okay? So that is absolutely huge. Now, what is the cost? What it would cost you to send out one book for the gas, the time, and postage and all that stuff, you can send out unlimited first 5 chapters of the book, okay? To anywhere in the world. There's about 6 different ways with technology you can do it, okay? And that'll go into that in step 3. So bottom line, look at the time, okay? It took me maybe 2 to 4 minutes total talking time to show them what they had to do if they want to own their life. They needed to understand network marketing. Now, they're reading the book or the 5 chapters. That's your time, their time, not your time. Okay, so now once they've read the 5 chapters or listened to it, they're ready for step 3, which is the app. And the app, you'll see a demonstration there from my partner, Jeff Romaldi, where he links his computer to his phone, shares the screen, and demonstrates how you actually send the book out. Okay, and you can send it, like I said, anywhere in the world. Now, let me tell you, it's a learning curve. Once you've done this 2 times, 3 times max, you'll be able to do it in 20 seconds, send the book anywhere in the world. Compare that to the time it took you to go to the post office, okay? Now, when you get the app, there's other things that you're gonna get with the app. First of all, you're gonna get the entire book in both print and audio. You cannot send out the entire book, You can only send out the first 5 chapters, but you have the whole book yourself. And also the book you're going to get is an upgraded book. My book hasn't been upgraded in 36 years. We didn't have technology back then. So when you see the upgraded book, it's going to blow you away, compared to what you've had for all these years. Very exciting. There's a section in there called questions and answers. And there's right now 25. And if anybody has a question that's not there, just submit it to us and we'll make sure it gets there. So eventually anything a person could ever think of asking is there. So you sponsor someone and they sponsor someone who asks your person a question. Well, your person is new. They don't have the answer. All they have to do is go to the app and find it. Okay. And see, you can send that Q&A question and answer to them, just like you can send the first 5 chapters of the book. Okay. And you can tell when they read it and when they're first looking at it and so forth. So that is really, really cool to have that. There's another section called Nancy's Wisdom. Now, Nancy, before she passed away, about 6 months before she passed, she did a Zoom training that the women absolutely love. Now, 70% of the people in the world that are in network marketing are women, okay? And they absolutely love it, and it's good for the men too. And there's also some interviews that she had there, and we have more content that's going to be going into that. We have a section called interviews, where we have Tom Schnall, Simon Chen, and Peter Angle. 3 of the most famous podcasters in the country interviewed us, and the one with Simon Chen, Peter, I'm just trying to think here. Anyway, the first one that I did afterwards, it went out to 500 radio stations. So we have others that are coming up we're going to be doing there. So a lot of things. Now, with the new app and the upgrades and so forth, we're going to add another person that's on the app. You have Jeff Romaldi doing the demonstration. I do a presentation. You're going to have a Dr. Steve Hines. He's a retired eye surgeon, okay? Multi-millionaire, sold his practice, been in network marketing 30 years, uses our training material. He's got the fastest growing company, fastest growing organization in his company using our training materials. Now, if you have a doctor, dentist, lawyer, professional person, and they listen to this guy for 3 to 4 minutes, if they don't join your business, there's a problem. So huge upgrades on it. Right now, the app is marketing for $15 a month. And if you get the app annually, you get 2 free months, which your average cost is $10, okay? With the new upgrades and all this stuff with the new app, it's going to be $20 a month, okay? Now, I tell people this, every business has an overhead. You show me another business in the world where you can have an overhead of $20 a month and make millions, okay? So the reason I'm telling you this is that you can go to the app we have now, okay? All you have to do is go to faillalegacy.com, okay? And you can go through it and so forth. And people understand English and so forth. It's got plenty of views, but do not get the annual to save the 2 months, because the new app will be ready in about a month, roughly. Once the new app comes out, you're going to want that. So all you have to do is cancel the one you've got and get the new one. If you get the annual, you got the annual for the year, okay? You can still get the new one, but you'll just end up with 2 apps. So anyway, total talking time from owning your life to understanding network marketing, to the app, to the demonstration and so forth, is somewhere between 4 and 10 minutes. Compare that to teaching someone to do an in-home presentation where it takes you days, weeks, and months. And if you're recruiting non-sales people who don't like to sell, then I'll guarantee you by the time they get 2 rejections, they're all ready to quit, okay? That's why you see all these organizations got huge organization, and you look at them, they got maybe 2 or 3 people that are active. That's pretty much it. So now, once they've been through the material and they've gone through the app, all the information and so forth, Now they're ready to contact their vehicle. And most companies have a website, so just send them to the website. Now, don't ever, ever tell them your product or your company until they've gone through the process. If you do, you lose. If they ask you, what's your company? What's your products? What are you selling? You know, and stuff like that. If you tell them, you're done, okay? You're not, no way you're going to get these people signed up. So what I tell people, if they press me, say, well, Don, what's your company? What do you sell? All I say is that, look, we don't sell, but if I were selling anything, it would be an opportunity for you to be able to own your life. That is all we sell. So anyway, just for the fun of it here, I just taught you virtually everything you need to know to build your business in 20 minutes.